Hey there, Sam Varner here talking about our Thursday Earning More session, and this is the first of many, hopefully. And today we're going to be talking about earning more by asking for a raise. Now, there's three things you need to consider when you're looking for a raise. Maybe you've been with the company for a couple months or a couple years and you haven't seen a pay raise in a while. That doesn't mean you can't get one, but there's three things you need to consider. Number one, is it the right time of the year? You could be a great candidate for a raise, but if they don't have the budget for it, they can't give you the raise. And I've seen, with some companies, they usually do it near the end of the year because they'll slate out their budget for the new year and account for those raises right away because they don't want to have to worry about later down the line, and they also have to leave a budget for new hires throughout the year, and then depending on your industry, any kind of outside subcontracting work that with the monies that they have right now, and for supplies, for education down the line. They budget this out way ahead of time, even if you're making money throughout the year. So if you're not sure what time of the year you typically do pay raise evaluations, talk to a supervisor that you know and trust, or who is your supervisor, and just ask, when would be a good time to talk about my salary and possibly reevaluating where I am with my work and my pay. Now, that's saying it in a manner like that will present you as a very professional person. Now, when you finally do sit down with your boss, there are two things you want to consider and bring to mind before you ultimately ask for the raise. You want to say, number one, you've been putting the time in. And that's important if you have been putting the time in. And so usually that's kind of hard to judge if you are, you telecommute most, if not all days, or if you travel for the company. They can't tell that all the times because you're more or less on your own a lot more often than you're with them. So you need to make it clear that you are putting the time into your work, and then from there you also want to put into the effort and results that you've been giving to the company. Because again, if you're all over the place doing your thing, your supervisor can't breathe down your neck all the time. They don't necessarily know what you're doing because they're so concerned about the stuff that they need to do. So they need a reminder from you. So for example, you could say, listen, supervisor, ever since one of our coworkers left, I've been taking a lot of the work that person did. And while it seems like it's been an effortless transition for the rest of the company, that has put a lot of work on my end. And I recognize that I've still been able to do the tasks that I've been doing prior to that coworker leaving. However, now I have more responsibilities. I know that I am saving you a salary by not making you hire another person to work with me. Therefore, I think it might be fair for me to have a pay increase based on the savings that I know I'm giving you guys. Now, notice that at the very end, I didn't ask for a very specific number. And at first, unless they ask you, you really don't want to. Because if you do, they may be okay with that. Maybe it might be too low for your salary increase, and they'll say, yeah, that sounds good to us. And then you might be kicking yourself because you might realize, I could have asked for more and got more. And two, if you do flat out give them that one, they might decide, no, we can't afford that. We're not okay with that. We can give you something smaller given that they think you deserve one. But simply saying that you've justified that you could get a salary increase gives you the power to have that leverage, because it's not the conversation is not going to stop right there. They're going to ask what you have in mind, and if they do ask, that's fine. You can either give them the amount, or you can say, well, I don't know exactly what my value is for savings. I just know that there is one. If you have an idea in mind of what would be an appropriate kind of pay raise, that would be great. Sometimes that's just enough that you need to say in order to do it. And if regardless, if they make an offer, it still gives you more power. So if it's much higher, then cool, you got a very big raise, bigger than you expected. If not, then you can still justify getting that percentage or amount that you wanted more, and say, hey, I know this is what you think it was worth. I was hoping for something more like this. Can we compromise? No matter what, it's still in your power. You don't want to, since you're the one that's approaching them, you don't want to easily give up the power for that. It's going to be your money. You rightfully deserve to earn it. So it's just a matter of making the odds in your favor that you get the amount that you need and want. So hope you got some benefit out of this, and you have a good night, and talk to you in the next one.